Hey guys, welcome to the IT Bootcamp 2024 to 2025, and in this lecture we're going to be studying what is ethical hacking, what is penetration testing, and this is one of the most interesting topics of the entire course. And this is a theoretical course, so we'll be going over theoretical knowledge right now. But if you want a dedicated course, then you can put that in the Q&A section, and I will make a dedicated course on ethical hacking and also on penetration testing if you want. So please leave a question in the question and answer box given down below. So let's get started. So what is ethical hacking? So here's the answer to your question. Ethical hacking is the practice of using hacking techniques for security testing and analysis. But penetration testing is a type of ethical hacking which is designed to assess and improve the security of a system by simulating real world attacks. Now let's move on to the next slide here. So what are the fundamentals of information technology or IT? We need to first understand the basic IT concepts, which is very crucial for ethical hacking, which includes networking, operating systems, security principles, common vulnerabilities. So first of all, we have networking basics. So here we need to learn about network topologies, what are different protocols like HTTP, TCP, UDP, which I've already covered into the previous section of the course, and then we have communication methods, which I've already covered. This knowledge is essential for understanding how systems connect and communicate. The second one is operating systems. If you want a dedicated course on operating systems and how to use them, then you can leave a comment down below. After that, we need to understand how different operating systems work, what are their security features, what are the common vulnerabilities in them, which is very crucial for exploiting system weaknesses. And I remember one of the vulnerabilities in Windows 10, some of the Windows 10 version, which was Eternal Blue. This is a type of attack which we can perform. We can still perform it if someone is using an older version of Windows 10. Eternal Blue is a type of attack which we can perform using MSF. Don't worry if you do not know what is MSF, because right now this is just a theory course. So let's move on to the next topic, security principles. We need to develop a solid foundation in security concepts such as confidentiality, integrity, availability. So please remember all of these three things, as these comprise the CIA, which is a core concept of information security. CIA. C stands for confidentiality, I for integrity, and A for availability. These principles are fundamental to ethical hacking. Then the fourth we have is vulnerability research. We need to familiarize ourselves with common vulnerabilities like buffer overflows, SQL injection, or we can say SQL injection, or structured query language injection. Then we have cross-site scripting. This is commonly referred to as XSS. We will be discussing its type later on in this course, and this knowledge is vital for identifying and exploiting weaknesses. Now let's move on to one of the most important operating systems which comes into play when talking about ethical hacking. So the main operating system that I use for ethical hacking is Kali Linux. So it is a very popular ethical hacking distribution. It is based on Linux distribution, and it offers a vast collection of tools, resources specially designed for penetration testing and security assessment. Like we already have tools like MSF, we already have tools like Beef, we already have Nmap, for example, and like we have hundreds and thousands of tools and so on and so forth in Kali Linux already installed. These are three of the main tools here which we can check in Kali Linux. So tools and resources, Kali Linux offers a wide range of tools for information gathering, vulnerability scanning, exploitation, post-exploitation. Post-exploitation means that what are the activities that we can perform after we exploited the system, and these tools are essential for conducting ethical hacking operations. The next one we have is customization. Ethical hacking, Kali Linux provides flexibility in configuring tools, environments, and it allows ethical hackers to tailor their setup to specific testing requirements. Then we have community support. Kali Linux benefits from a large and active community. We can get support from ethical hackers. There are many tutorials on YouTube and also this course. So let's move on to the next slide. Now let's talk about reconnaissance and information gathering techniques. This is like one of the first things you will do when doing a penetration testing or bug bounty or something like that. So reconnaissance involves gathering information about a target system or organization. This information is crucial for identifying vulnerabilities and planning attacks. So the first step in reconnaissance is footprinting. So this involves collecting publicly available information about the target, such as website details, social media profiles, domain registration records, and so on and so forth. The second one is scanning. We can scan techniques to identify open port services and other network assets. So the tools that we can use for identifying the open port services is Nmap. Nmap is just one of them. We also have a graphical user interface of Nmap, which is known as ZenMap, for example. So this data provides insights into the target's network infrastructure. Then we have enumeration. It focuses on identifying specific details about the target system, resources, usernames, file shares, user groups, and so on. Now let's talk about vulnerability scanning and analysis. So vulnerability scanning involves identifying weaknesses in a target system and applications. This process helps uncover exploitable vulnerabilities that can be used to compromise the system. Vulnerability scanners. So there are many tools like Nessus, OpenVAS, and Nmap. Nmap we have discussed before. The full form of Nmap is network mapping, and Nessus is also similar to Nmap to some extent. And these are used to automate the vulnerability scanning process. These tools scan systems for known vulnerabilities and they generate reports. After that, we have vulnerability analysis. It analyzes the scan results, which helps prioritize vulnerabilities based on their severity, exploitability, and impact. So how can we calculate severity? If this question comes to your mind, then I have the answer to it. We can calculate it using CVSS 3.1 or any other model. In this, it is a common vulnerability system, so we can check out the security of the specific vulnerability using the CVSS system. Then exploitability impact. This information guides the penetration testing process. Then we have exploitation testing. After identifying vulnerabilities, ethical hackers may attempt to exploit them to assess the effectiveness of security controls and determine the potential impact of an attack. Let's move on. Now let's talk about what is post-exploitation and privilege escalation. So one of the things I would like to tell you about privilege escalation is local exploit suggester. This is one of the main tools that we can use underneath MSF console. Once we gain access to the target system, local exploit suggester helps to check if there is any privilege escalation command that we can put in. So now let's move on. Post-exploitation involves gaining control of a compromised system and escalating privileges to gain more access and control. So the first thing is lateral movement, which means that we can move from one hacked system or compromised system to another within the same network to gain wider access. The second one is privilege escalation. We can gain elevated privileges such as administrative access to control more resources and perform sensitive actions. Then we have data exfiltration. We can steal sensitive data from the compromised system and transfer it to the attacker's control. These are three of the main things that we can keep in mind for post-exploitation and privilege escalation. Now let's move on to some defensive strategies and countermeasures that we can take. So ethical hacking plays a vital role in strengthening security defenses by identifying weaknesses and testing countermeasures. So the first thing that comes into play is firewall. As you already may know that we have Windows Defender and Windows 10 7, Windows 10, Windows 11, and Windows Defender has a built-in Windows Defender firewall, which protects us from unauthorized connections. So firewall acts as barriers between networks, blocking unauthorized access and traffic. This helps protecting system from external attacks. Then the second we have IDPS, or the intrusion detection and prevention systems. Sometimes we can refer to them as intrusion detection systems. They do not prevent it, that's why they are known as intrusion detection systems. Then IDPS system monitors network traffic for malicious activity and can take actions to block or mitigate attacks. The third one we have is security awareness training. We can train users about security best practices and common threats, which helps prevent social engineering attacks and reduces the risk of human error. So I want to stress upon the fact what are social engineering attacks. So in these type of attacks, we can send a phishing email to a person, and once when the person clicks on the specified link in the email, he or she is directed to a fake website which represents Google, Amazon, Netflix, or any similar service, and the user would simply log into the website, but he or she will not know that is it the fake website or the real website. Let's move on. to some ethical hacking certifications and career paths. So now let's talk about what are the certifications which we can gain to validate our knowledge and skills in ethical hacking. So the first one and the most important one is CompTIA Security Plus. This is a foundation certification covering cybersecurity concepts and practices. It's a starting point. Then we have Certified Ethical Hacker CEH. It is a globally recognized certification that validates your knowledge and skills in ethical hacking methodologies and techniques. The third one we have is OSCP. This is one of the most difficult exams to crack. A highly respected certification that requires hands-on penetration testing experience and demonstrates advanced ethical hacking skills. Then we have CREST, Certified Penetration Tester, which is known as CREST. It offers a wide range of penetration testing certifications that demonstrate competence in specific areas such as web application testing, like web application testing and mobile device testing. Let's move on. So this is the conclusion and next steps. So ethical hacking is a dynamic field with growing demand. By mastering the fundamentals and pursuing relevant certifications, we can embark on a rewarding journey in cybersecurity. The things we need is continuous learning, practical experience, and networking and collaboration. So this was all about today's lecture. If you enjoyed today's lecture, make sure to review the course. I will see you in the next lecture. Till then, take care and bye bye.